The score showing up at the beginning is kind of odd. I wonder what's up with that. BLDC, hi, enjoy your stay. Okay. Onward, dear Mario. Mandatory overworld. Off and on again. How does this work? What is a BLDC? So, on SMW Central, the website that has all of the SMW hacking stuff, they host contests. Which are level design contests. So that's where the LDC part comes in. And the BLDC is the BaseROM level design contest, where a third party, in this case Ampersand, decides on the resources that are included in that BaseROM before you hack it. So for instance, this lock and key system, as well as the blocks that are turning on and off and murdering me, are from the BaseROM. This is cute. So far I actually like this. How you doing, GM Rubix? I don't have an explanation anywhere, but if you want to explain better in chat than I have, feel free to. But I'm currently judging, and there's 52 entries. I think I'm actually halfway through now, roughly. Like, I've got 27 done out of 52. Dang it. This has got a real, like, demo scene feel to this song. Tired and lazy girl. Fair enough. Fair enough. Nope. Is this a meme I've missed? I, for one, am not tired today. Because today, I have the day off. Because it's the celebrated New Year's Eve day. Because it all falls on a weekend this time, so, you know, 4-day weekend is nice. Which is why we're having the stream at a normal hour compared to what I usually stream, which is hella late at night. My time. Pacific time, which is very late for the rest of the English-speaking world. Except for people in New Zealand. And Australia, I guess. Haven't missed it, it's happening now. Fair enough. Someone's just gonna try my patience, because I need to just be patient at every door. Okay, you cannot wait there for too long. Everyone loves a good room challenge type of level. I'm gonna be curious to see if there is gonna be a checkpoint after this room, though. Oh, no. I feel like I'm making negative progress. Like the first time I actually got all the way to the key and made progress, and now I'm going backwards. This happens far more often than I care to admit. This level gave you issues. Fair enough. I remain optimistic. Like, I like what I'm seeing so far. Like, this is a style of level I enjoy. Generally. Really, I'm not a huge fan of having to jump, and the fact that these walls can kill me if my jumps are real-timed is a little bit unfortunate, but... we got through at least one room. Oh boy. Alright, what kind of block is this? Wait for it. It's an aesthetic dolphin, it's not an important dolphin. Oh. I took too long noticing how this worked. Way too long noticing how this worked. The aesthetic dolphin. He tricked me. You know, a retry pipe would have been really nice here. Let's see what this puts me. At the beginning. Okay. Noted. If you're gonna do that, then yeah, retry pipe would have been really nice. It's not like there was a shortage of pipes in that room either. Aesthetically. Shout out to Aesthetic Dolphin. You're welcome to use it as your band name. Main issue is just the enemy placement. Like, the problem with this sort of level is that if you don't give people a checkpoint after every bit, it does feel a bit annoying. And certainly, you can say skill issue, just beat it better. But each room is a puzzle. And nothing is quite as irritating as solving the same puzzle over and over if you're not 5 years old. Like, pretty much everybody in their life has solved some sort of jigsaw puzzle, but they never say, you know what would be a good time? Re-solving that jigsaw puzzle we just solved. Unless they're like 5 years old. And that's how I feel about things like this, where I have to go back through this. I'm like, yep, you showed me the gimmick, thank you, I get to do this again. Like, having a midway that takes me directly to this room would have been a lot nicer. Just gotta find a more consistent way to do that. If I go fast, I can grip the bottom and go up the right, I think. Maybe that's an option. There we go. Oh, yeah, that works. I can grab the bottom thing and just go from there. That's a much more reliable way of doing it. Or I could jump back down. Should be a reset pipe / door object that always takes you back to the level entrance, rather than what screen and exit it's on. If you're gonna make a level like this, then every room should have a checkpoint. Technically, especially if the puzzles are actually hard like they are here. That's why the one puzzle level in WLDC was top tier. Oh man, what? Just thinking about it now, I'm like, oh man, when was that? What level was that? Because it's been forever since I finished WLDC. Was even looking at it because I was like, huh, I thought I set out to like do a YouTube video every day, and I think that started with either QLDC or WLDC. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, no, I guess I didn't quite do that. I started like sometime in March. Dang it. So yeah, I beat like half of them at the beginning of the year, and then half of them in like September. So forget the name of it. That's fair. And I'll read the rest of chat in a minute. Even more chat now. Gonna make a level like this in every room. Yeah, should have a checkpoint. Both these levels are either checkpoint after every screen or decrease in difficulty. Progresses to a checkpoint, yeah. It's a fairly common, like, here's how you should set up just a set of things. Is you generally should have your, like, best thing out in front and have the memorable things. I don't know. At least that's the way comics always say. You should always put your best joke first. And then put your second best joke at the end and keep staggering there, because people don't generally remember the middle so much as the two endpoints. You could argue a similar thing for these sorts of puzzle levels, is you definitely should put your more memorable setups at the beginning and the end. But especially for the room where like you're on a timer and you might not even notice it, it's just a little cruel to make you go back through the other room. Especially in the level that requires so much waiting. Like, even if I knocked a couple cycles off this, it would still take approximately the same amount of time to beat it. And because of the Lava Lotus, I just have to wait at a lot of sections if I want to do this in a reliable way. Okay. Pause. Alright, I see it. I actually wish I hadn't paused. Do I support trans rights? Yeah, they're fine. It's an odd question to ask while playing Mario, but it's a fine thing. This level's fine. I'm not actually bugged by it yet. I have played harder in levels that have actually annoyed me. I don't remember what it was. It was one of the 24-hour contests or something. There was a level that had a bad version of Add Music and was also designed as like an arena battle thing, where every time you died, it added 5 seconds to your timer with how long you had to survive. And yeah, that one annoyed me. There's also a QLDC level that was silly. It was like, here's a giant morass of invisible blocks, and you need a Magic Koopa to drill through them. That one definitely annoyed me. I definitely have a lot of patience. Years and years of practice at patience. In fact, when I was a kid, we had a silly, like, I don't know, musical tape. It was supposed to be about moral lessons and whatnot. And the only two of it I remember in there was a song about waking up. That had all these silly things happen, like, you know, wake up, get out of bed, see the sun is shining, stand up and move your toes, tell them the time to go. Put a watermelon in your shoe, get into your airplane and drive up and down the street, etc. And one of the songs was about patience, and it's like, I just can't wait to have patience. Gotta have it now. I'm not sure it actually affected the amount of patience I acquired in life, but you know. I am a sucker for a decent silly song. That was way too late. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow. Yeah, I was gonna put those in sort of like camp songs. Like, I know Baby Shark is certainly one of those now, but it's the kind of thing you would sing if you were at like a summer camp or something. With the bump on the log at the bottom of the sea. That one. I later found out that the songs I was talking about, like the Patience one, were from some sort of TV show. Because I looked it up and I'm like, oh, they actually have footage of a child trying to put a watermelon in his shoe. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. And hilarious, actually. But one of those things growing up is you could easily acquire tapes and whatnot without having any idea where it was from, especially if it was like a copy of a copy or something. Though I think this wasn't. Oh. Well, shoot me now. Don't like this first room. It's cute for the first 20 or so times, but it's like, come on, I want to play. Yeah. What I like about it is it teaches you exactly what the gimmick is. You're like, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be on-off blocks. Switch blocks. Time switch blocks. Whatever Mario Galaxy calls them. But the problem is, again, I solved this puzzle. Solving a puzzle multiple times, the same puzzle multiple times, is not interesting. Especially when there's so much waiting involved. Like, it's one thing about Kaizo, right? Kaizo levels are kinetic puzzles in a lot of ways. But you can eventually do them faster. You're generally not restricted by how the level wants you to go. So... Alright, well that's 2 levels. Like, that one actually is pretty easy once you know what you're doing and can see it, and don't get distracted by the aesthetic dolphin. 3. Alright, you know what? That's fine. I changed my mind. I can't see shit. I'm gonna leave you to the retry screen while I go and turn off the other light and see if it makes a difference. BRB? Yes, I truly love a good dark level. Alright, let me just observe the layout for a moment. Because I really cannot see this well enough right now. I might need to turn on the less eco mode. Actually, no, I'm not turning on the non-eco mode for this projector. So, long story short, I replaced the bulb recently, and it makes really bad sounds sometimes. So I'm not going to push it voltage-wise, because I don't think it's properly grounded. Like, normally I'd be willing to do this at the cost of a little bit of fan noise on stream, but today, and because of the fact that it makes awkward noises, I'm not doing that. What the heck happened there? Okay, well, at least that room's a little bit easier and faster to go through than the other one. Alright, the good news is I'm not on a strict timer. Trying to figure this out real quick. No. Dark is not fun, it's true. I love Mode 11. You can barely see this yourself. Who thought Mario in the dark was a good idea? I mean, Nintendo, I guess. At least they put a light switch? Yeah. Like, I'm just not a fan of this particular mechanic because all it does is obfuscate, and it's a puzzle. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people out... That interaction is so weird. There are people out there who love to do puzzles by, like, flipping them over and solving them from the back just using the shapes. But, no. All this does is it's literally made the level worse in my eyes, and I rarely like to say that while doing judging. Like, quite literally, it just makes it harder for me to see what I need to do, and that's, like, the opposite of fun. Like, I generally don't begrudge levels that want to have darkness for plot reasons or aesthetic reasons. Like, there can be good reasons to have it, but this has not established either of those. That's the more consistent setup. Okay. Go to the right there. Go left there. Fake difficulty is bad, exactly. Like darkness, but it's a primary aesthetic. Like with dark rooms in Yoshi's Island. But the main challenge is can't see shit, then it's awful. Yep. Maybe people like the Haunted Funhouse level in Kirby and Forgotten Land. Challenge is mostly just fumbling. I mean, it can be fun, but it has to enhance what you're doing. It's not enhancing what I'm doing here. It's just making it worse. There we go. Especially because the two colors, one of them I can see consistently, the other I cannot. Like, the yellow I can pick out, the gray is often really hard to see. No excuse from the player, you gotta play away around the obfuscation, yeah. Like, I don't even really like the, parrot levels in DKC 2. But at least, or the light levels in DKC, both of them, either the fish or the parrot version. But, and whatever the hell they do in DKC 3. But at least you have a tool to get around the problem. Okay. What am I looking at? Okay, fish is stuck. Almost. Had glowfish. Oh, man, I got... You stabbed to light him up. Yeah, those were cool, actually. I forgot about those. I mean, I kind of figured they had to use that mechanic 3 times in each game, but I'd forgotten how it worked in DKC 3. Right, don't jump between those. Wasn't too fun, and the darkness didn't enhance it anyway, yeah. But at least you had recourse. Well, I'm hoping the rooms come in 2s. Because if they do, then I won't mind this too much, but if they're going to push the limit, I might be a little more unhappy. What's a soft time limit on getting the next glowfish before going blind? That's fair. Wasn't sure where the ground was there, but it sure wasn't where I thought it was. Like, I'm trying to think of what these blocks, if they were programmed differently, like what benefit of the doubt would they give the player instead of, you know, immediately killing them or throwing them through the bottom. Like, I feel like there's a kinder way to implement these blocks. Not exactly sure what it is, but I'm certain there is one. Right. Okay, that's another way to die. Crunch. I'm glad for that interaction, because when I forget what I'm supposed to do and just do it, then it sometimes works. Not sure how to design a good dark level, but one idea is having elements to certain enemies' foreground things glow in the dark, so it's not completely fun. That could be nice. Think you can navigate around dark level in Razor Ridge without actually hitting the glowfish? I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you know what you're doing, you don't need to have any form of vision to see what you're doing in a dark level, let alone at all. Like, people beat Link to the Past and other Zelda games blindfolded, so there's no reason you couldn't, you know, do it without hitting the fish. Mechanically. There we go. How you doing, Anora-kun? Ah, man. Okay, gotta be careful. Yeah, part of why I'm being quiet occasionally, I have to listen for the beat. Not the fish. Don't listen for the fish. Can I throw the key there? I think it's safe to throw the key there. That might actually make that part easier for me. Beating Pokemon Blue blindfolded just using sound cues? That's impressive. But yeah, like in Pokemon, I guess also you could navigate those dark caves without flash if you knew what you were doing. Don't let go of B when making this jump. Super Mario Brothers did dark levels, or we did levels as well with the lights on. Helped find stuff like hidden paths, but it's still completely possible, yeah. moving. I'll get there eventually. Okay. Too late. Too late, too late. Too late, too late. Yeah, I wonder if that disc is still in my car. It's been a long time since I've checked. I might have actually taken out one of the 2 Garage Inc. discs from the 6-disc changer. No, I still have Architects of Change, and was it the Sonic album in there somewhere? Probably still have my Parappa CD in there, too. Just to show you how often I drive, I don't actually know what's in my car. Okay. Gotta wait for the fish. Chuck the key, wait for the fish. Just get it away from the thrower of hammers. The brower of hammers. Personally, I like the flashlight. Now that it's been converted to layer 3. You can use SMW2 spotlight graphics. The blue version gives a nice offset effect. You can see a lot of the screen. Super Ninja Kun does it well. Has a dark cave level where you can see, but not blinded. See, interesting. I'll have to play it sometime, or at least check that out to see what it looks like. Because I personally despise the dark ASM. I have felt that every time I have had to work around this, it has made my life less happy. There we go. Fix my regrab. Oh, I was busy looking at the wrong cycle. It's like, okay, I need to dodge the hammers and the fire, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, I need the platform. Huh. Dealing with periodic motion. Especially that one. Oh, that's right. Because of the way that particular piranha plant spawns, it's not going to be consistent every time I go through this room. How and where in that cycle it is. That's mildly annoying now that I think about it. I'm kind of wondering if I should stop and read, or should try to rush this. That's probably what the level creator did. Like, being on the same cycle as them is probably beneficial. Short hammer thing. Monitor turned off so you couldn't see the game. You'd have a textual guide written to the to consult. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's still equivalent to being roughly blindfolded. That's what you mean. You have issues with the enemy placement in this level. You got Hammer Bros, you got Venus Fire Trap along with the time on the blocks in the dark. I think without the Venus, the Fire Piranha Plant, it would be fine. The problem is if you're going to do levels like this, everything in them needs to be consistent. And that Piranha Plant is not consistent. Even changing it to a red one so it forces you to move immediately would actually help in some ways. Even if I think that would be way more annoying. Which I think it would be. But it would change the dynamics such that you have a consistent room. So like you would immediately need to move to the left. It would suck because you die upon spawning. But at least you would have all of the timers on the same page. As opposed to right now where they're drastically different depending upon how you do that first section. Because the hammers can be in slightly different positions depending upon when you go through that maze. And of course the fire will be in a different position depending upon when you decide to enter it as well. So there's a loss in consistency here that I just do not appreciate. Didn't mean to jump. Still wonder where this track is from. It's got a very Sid mod quality to it. Mostly fine. C3 has been delayed to February, so you have time to finish your second half. Nice. Hammer Dude in the second room, consistent. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Hammer Dude is consistent in terms of how the hammers spawn, but when I decide to enter this is not consistent. So there'll be slightly different hammer timing relative to the clock. So, like, sometimes I'll fall through there, sometimes I won't. Like, I could choose that, though. Issue whatever setup you're using that makes it so held keys don't work on doors. Oh, that's right, too. I did check that last time, and we still ran into that problem without any of my USB nonsense. So I think I had one more idea to check. I was going to check the other card and see if it had been somehow miraculously, some sort of miracle had occurred and it was fixed in a later firmware revision. But I would be absolutely shocked if that was the case. So far, having to throw keys hasn't been the end of the world in any of these levels. Like, there's been enough slack that it's not been a problem, but it does not make this easier. Guess I should make that pretty explicit about why, because that's why I'm always throwing the keys and letting go of why, is because of that. Like, if I don't, I just stand with the key against the door looking like a moron. Yeah, I like that strat at least. Platform and hammer, not looking at the fireballs. Like, when you do that room right, it feels good. Will I get to a point like that with this room? I hope not, because I hope I only have to beat it once. Cool! Hooray for 5! What? Oh, I have to, it's a survivor room, okay. Gotta survive with ghost blue lasers. This I understand. Mostly understand. Interesting to introduce power-ups now, but I'm happy about this nerf. Okay. I get this room, I think. Alright. Oh, the key's gonna wait. I don't need to be aggressive there, because it's not gonna fall through. That's a sprite-only block. Not a sprite transparent block. So I can wait to pick up the key. I'm not actually in as much of a hurry as I think I am. That other room primed me. And in fact, I should remember what each block of that type looks like. I didn't mean to get on the gray blocks. SMW, darkness effect is too extreme. Yeah, I'd agree with that. This should have been the first room, and then the next room is the very first room. Oh no, this bodes poorly. Right, it bounced off that. Alright, we made it through. What's the next room? Breakable blocks. Those are gonna fall on me. I can't read the rest of this. Don't really see the reason you needed to kill me instantly when I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the room. That's a bit of a dick move right there. Yeah, I think I understand your assessment with this being the second room instead of the first one. I'm not dead yet. Okay, I need to go back to my initial set of things I was doing that worked. Mostly worked. Oh, you mean is the two in the room and the dark area should have been switched? Oh. On one hand, yeah. On the other hand, I'm glad I only had to do that other one once. If I had to do the other one more than once, I think I would have been unhappy. But I agree that in terms of, like, difficulty progression, the first room was the easier of the two. And I think that other room just has some unfun issues. I'm losing focus. That's not good. There's things that need to be done. It's a fun way to die, at least. I think I got that. I'm getting there with that one. That's still a dick move. Yeah, I don't like that room. Left. Wait a second, it's one tile gaps. I could just run between them. Come up with other bad ideas about how to do this. Lots and lots of bad ideas of how not to do this, I suppose would be the right way to phrase it. Ah, man. Ow. Removed one boo laser because one of the boozers follows another anyway, so it's weirdly unnecessary. Yeah, 2 Potobos probably would have been more kind. Yeah, I'm definitely going to wonder who made this one. Because it's not conceptually bad. Like, there's a lot to like here. But I don't have a good read for who this could possibly be. Ow. Yeah, it's just a lot to watch all at once. And I'll have to do it twice, assuming I have perfect throws. Oh, through, right? Not under. Like, this is clearly, that's like mimicking a style, and I'm not angry about that. Like, it's a good style if you're gonna try to mimic something. Like, I like this style of thing in general. But very much just a little bit of playtesting and a small amount of nerfs could go a long way for this sort of thing. As I shove myself through the wall once again. Gotta come up with a better way to do that. Alright, I'm just gonna go in here. Getting one block is going to be a challenge. Getting two. I feel like something in the timing has changed. Maybe I'm doing it like a cycle early, but my plan there no longer works. At least there's, you know, some amount of kindness. That's the same death I took before. I just need to think that room out through a lot harder. Nuts! Not to mention this severe irregularity about how all of those are bouncing around the room. Unlike the Boo room, where they're pretty regular, because they're always bouncing off roughly the same surfaces every time. You can make good inferences about what they're going to do next. Yeah, I kind of feel like either they realized that it was a bit too difficult and added the mushroom, or someone in playtesting said, look, you need to nerf this, and the mushroom was their solution. That would have been awesome if I'd gotten it, but no, I need to stick to my old plan that mostly worked. I said mostly worked. If every room had a checkpoint, this wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's very much a weird choice. Like, I'm trying to imagine what, like, would the whole Nightmare Cafe series have been quite as good if you only got a checkpoint every, like, 5 rooms? Is that something people would have wanted out of it? I think the answer is no. Like, the nice thing about these rooms is about this sort of class of room, is that you're always making progress. But when you make it so it's every 2 rooms, you don't feel like you're making progress because you don't have the time to analyze your situation, because you're like, oh, I just got in this room and I just got hit. Like that. Not necessarily that exactly, like just happened, but you know. Especially that. There's no reason in that room to drop those boulders on people while they're looking and evaluating the room. Like, that's just sheer cruelty. Okay. That's a thing that happened. Square it up. I guess I only needed 1 block if you square it up right. Holy cow. 7. Oh, hello. What is this room? Can't imagining a playtester saying, "Ayo, there really needs to be more checkpoints here." Yeah. Either creator was the only playtester, or only my SMW Pro Elite player friends tested this and told me it's 100% okay. It's possible. But yeah, I think the Pro Elite testers would tell you when something's not fun. Like, I'm fairly certain, let's say they managed to get Juz Cook to test this, okay? I just like Juz Cook, or Glitch Cat. I'm fairly certain at least one of them would have said, I don't know why you're not doing more checkpoints. Because even if they're that good, they're like, Jessica's going to want to sit in that room for a moment and look at it and say, what am I looking at here? I will admit, this room is kind of cool. This is probably the most interesting use of the boxing gloves I've seen so far. Like, that was a cool room. Okay. No. Oh, okay. We Mario 1 now. Still helps this room's actually really cool. Like, my only complaint is it doesn't give you a spot to stand to observe the room. Like, but if it's going to be where your checkpoint is, that's also not nearly as irritating. Key. No! I thought I had more time. Yeah. This room feels really good when you do it. Like, when you execute on this, it feels great. This is a really, really well done room. That's what's gonna bug me, is like, this entire thing is lots of good ideas, and then occasional horrible execution. Not even horrible, just... we've already been over the major thing that would make this level really, really good, as opposed to just good. Or at least kind of painful at times. Just extra checkpoints is nice. We've well established how this particular style, this genre of SMW hack should work at this point. Between, you know, 100 Rooms of Enemies, Nightmare Cafe. There's probably like a bunch of other series that do this that I can't remember right now, but like... It's kind of like detective novels. You know what a detective novel should look like after all these years. You might be bucking the trend and making something truly innovative, but more likely you're just making it slightly worse. And I'm still a moron. Alright, one quick second. Oh, this one could have been the first one on the stage. The one with the moving platforms. Yeah, I think that would have been a nicer one. Either more checkpoints or trim it down, because sometimes more checkpoints is a band-aid on a tumor solution. Yeah, that's fair. Oh. What's up, Legendary Kirby? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's been a whole, what, 12 hours since I was playing Avoid the Noid, or Yo-Noid. So... I was even thinking about that game. I'm like, man, I want to beat Yo-Noid now. I looked up how close I was to the end at the end of stream, and I was at level like 12 or 11 of 13 or something, and I'm like, I can totally beat this game now. I have learned enough about noids to successfully avoid this noid. Well, not avoid, but like get that noid. Avoid the noid, on the other hand, I have no desire to ever complete legitimately. I am perfectly happy with my cheating way through. So... At least I saw the ending. I saw the pizza boy deliver his pizza. And in the end, that's what really matters, is some guy who lives in a 30-story tower got his pizza in under 30 minutes. Though he had been, you know, front handsprung a few times. And gotten wet and blown up multiple different ways. But pizza was delivered. Starting to rain. An unpleasant amount. I wanted to re-grab. I thought it'd be in the air. Like, I think I see my solution there. I just need to try it out. Might have also been nice to, like, have a different, Actually, I don't even know if I'm at the halfway point. Having a different track would be kind of nice. At some point. Like, if you're gonna make a level this long, having more than one song is probably a good idea. Kind of like how Cracks Cafe did it, or yeah, Cracks Cafe did it, where each grouping, like every level, 10 levels or so, 15 levels or so, had its own aesthetics and music. With some, you know, odd breaks because Daiso Core, etc. I thought I'd grab it. You can yo the Noid. Domino's Noid, Lord Lloyd. Oh, what's up, Dara? How you doing? Oh, what time is it? It's only 6. Okay, cool. It's only 5 and change. Cool. I have one constraint today, so it might have been 2 constraints, in which case I might have needed to get started earlier, but we canceled D&D because not enough interest. Too many people out of town. Or just generally busy. One of the dudes, his wife, gets like a month-long sabbatical that's somewhat mandatory to take, paid sabbatical at least. So he'll be out for like all of January, maybe remote in, but you know, he's gonna be in a beach town. You really want to play D&D with your nerd friends when you're in a beach town? With your wife and 2 kids? I don't know. That's usually past like no, not even past their bedtime, like 6 p.m. My brilliant plan has one small flaw in that it doesn't work. Judging these contests has taught you there's a lot of people that don't understand how important music choices and puzzle levels in particular. Yeah, I could see that. That's why Super Mario EO is world top tier. I don't think I've played Super Mario EO. Have I? God, I don't remember. Played so many hacks at this point. How am I? I'm good. Like I said, just doing some judging today, which is a nice thing. It's good to get I'd say ahead of the... Oh, that's not a completely, I can pick that up. I thought dropping the key was a failure state, but no, it wasn't. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, still thinking about Yo-Noid. I don't know why. I'm honestly, like, some of the graphics in that are really good, like, by all accounts. I also tried out some of the other games that use the same engine. There's a series of Japanese games, I think for children, based upon the fact that the boss fights involved things like identifying sequential numbers. And... no, okay, I gotta go earlier there. Or a different sync. Or figuring out the first letter of... well, letter... yeah, letter is probably close enough to the correct answer there. Of certain objects. Of course, it's in Japanese, and other than the occasional one that I know from katakana and remember vaguely from high school Japanese class, I wasn't very good at it, so we didn't spend much time with that one. I do remember watermelon is suika, but I didn't get su, unfortunately. I got tsu, which is different from su. Alright. Got it. Annoying. Alright. There better not be 100 of these. How many entries do I have left? 27. Someone made a Yo-Noid 2 a few years back involved analog dabbing and Hitsuru Miku. No, the Noid was the antagonist, and in fact, had I beaten Yo-Noid last night, that's what I would have gone on to do. I installed it and everything. As a concept, it just looks too awesome, and in fact, it even opens with an FMV sequence. There's a lot to love there. I remember seeing part of it run at a GDQ and during their, like, weird bad games? It's during A game section. Don't know if you played VLDC 12, you were a tester for the Quake Engine Pyros level, and told you to change the music because the original song got annoying. Oh. Wasn't a bad song for a puzzle level, got a little fast, fair enough. No, I played a little bit. So Stevie asked if I could quickly test out the overworld on an SA1 on hardware. And I did find a bug, but I was not able to reproduce it. And unfortunately, I wasn't recording because it was, you know, not supposed to be out yet. But I only played like a couple levels. I played through a couple levels, mainly the Switch Palaces, a couple of Switch Palaces, and then called it a day. Because they weren't worried about the levels, or Steven wasn't worried about the levels not working. He was worried about the overworld doing weird things because of SA1. But that does sound fun, a puzzle level in VLDC 12. That's one level design contest I have not spent, as I said, much time playing with, outside of testing, briefly. I don't like what I'm doing there. There's got to be a better way. I have beaten all of 13. I sat down and did all of 13 as, like, post-moderation content if I ran out of stuff to moderate. I'll probably do the same thing with QLDC, or maybe when QLDC is early, I'll play some more of it. But... And I have a vague idea for a QLDC level, but I'm just not certain I'll actually get around to it. Just the time, commitment. And I need to learn how to actually make Mario levels. How to run add music. I have a good idea, but I need to sit down and write some assembly for it. Which would mean knowing how to, learning how to interact with certain other things. Like, I know how to use GPS for simple stuff. And I'd probably not even bother with free RAM and just go with my own allocation strategy. Which isn't ideal, but it's easy enough in the world of download more RAM that we live in. You can wait longer there, I think. Yeah, just wait a little longer there, that's all I can do. Uh-huh. Nope. I think you gotta wait a while for them to be synced properly, or go a lot faster than I am. Alright. Chat hacks modules, QLDC, it's tempting. It's an idea I like. Quake Engine is good, but took like 3 days to beat. Oh my, very complex for a VLDC level. I'm gonna guess there's some sort of like weird sprite and bug sort of interaction in it. And it's called Quake Engine. Maybe something to do with how the screen shake affects something else? Or it's a first-person shooter implemented under VLDC rules, which would be really cool. Oh, I let go of A, that's what I did. Thinking about it. Oh, no! When you don't expect to land on something. You're just the Yoshi stomp? Quake Engine is a really long Yoshi shell, yellow Yoshi level. Okay. Well, I was at least in the vicinity of correct, and no, not really. Yeah, vicinity, I guess, earthquake. That sort of thing. Just the wrong source of it. Wait another beat. That's all you have to do there. Okay, these guys have a pattern. That's not the pattern. Okay. I'm gonna have to learn this by muscle memory, I'm pretty sure. On the bright side, it's likely 10 is the last one. Or past 9 can't be much longer, I guess. That's kind of what I want, but I want a wider gap, I think. By long, you mean 6 or 7 rooms spanning multiple screens and weird setups? Oh my. But I'm assuming that at least, well, VLDC, you can only have, what, like, 3 classes of checkpoint? Yoshi Coin, 1-Up, and Moon. will admit, throwing the key is more satisfying than just landing it. I want them kind of sunk up, actually. I think. That's what I kind of want, but that's a little more hair-raising than I think. I don't think... Wait. No. You have to move immediately in that room or you're fucked. Especially second rooms should give you a moment to contemplate your fate before you're screwed. Like, even with pausing, I didn't have time to do the right thing. Because you need to do the right thing immediately upon entering. That's where you caved and put a save state? Yeah. Spoiler alert, you did not beat this room. You have more checkpoints by adding hidden pipes and telling the player about them via messages. Oh, that's true. Straight up have no clue how to beat the last room. Oh boy. I'm not going to let that taint my perception of it, at least to start. But that's not a good sign. On the bright side, we have several people here who know a lot about Mario. Oh god, that was a bad time to do that. Who know a lot about Mario, and maybe we can suss it out together if I'm not that clever. Alright, that's not too bad. Okay. Alright, not only do you need to immediately do the right thing, you need to hold left immediately, too. Or maybe I need to grab it? I need to wait a no, that can't be it. Alright, let's just observe this room for a moment so I can think. I need to get the key. I'll come back, land on this for a switch. Jump on those. Like, this seems straightforward, except that very first obstacle, which does not seem correct to me. Gotta jump on the string, get the key. That didn't work, so... Yeah. And avoid the fuzzy. Yeah. So here's the weird thing about puzzles, right? Puzzles are challenges that you're meant, as the creator of them, to fail at, right? You want people to actually solve them. No one appreciates how clever a puzzle is if they don't actually solve it. So there needs to be a certain level of moderation to what you're doing. Not too long. Okay. It's too short. That first move does not work. You have to do something else. I think what the level wants me to do is grab the spring, jump on the platform. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to jump on the spring. I think jumping on the spring is the wrong first move. That, or they tested it on something where that works and it doesn't work here. I think I grab it, jump on the descending platform, and then wait a cycle? Yeah, I think putting a save state is perfectly reasonable there, just because when you have to spend that much time figuring out what the hell you're doing in a room, where the obvious and intuitive things aren't necessarily correct, not having a checkpoint there is just a dick move. There we go. Played this on SNS. Oh, crap. I cannot read chat during pipe transitions here. Remember, you did it, but you gotta get the spring immediately so it doesn't go through 2 cycles. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. SNS is an emulator made by Sour, who's known best for their original MESN, which is honestly a really, 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 really good NES emulator. I would definitely recommend that if you want debugging features, use MESNS. It is just the best. Allegedly, there's a new version coming out, and it's public knowledge. This is not just like something I heard from Fiskbit or anything. Oh, okay. Grab that. Maybe put the spring down and then pick it back up. God, what does it want from me? What does it want from me? Like, I can turn on cheats if I have to, but I don't want to. The more I look at it, the less I understand. Do I have enough momentum to jump to that platform? What if the spring isn't important? I see another path through here, okay? You jump on the spring to gain time. You come back down, you're in the yellow state. You use the yellows to get over to the grays on the right. You jump on that platform under the fuzzy. You ride the fuzzy during the yellow part over there and get the key really carefully, but that completely avoids that thing over to the left. Like, I see it might be feasible, but I also don't know if I want to do it. What's up, Matt? How you doing? We are trying to brain here. The very moment the switch activates, you jump on the spring. By that time, it activates again. You can get the key. Doing great. Excellent. Well, hope you're enjoying some time off from college. With winter break or whatever you might get over there. Or just, you know, New Year's Day, I suppose. It's getting close to New Year's Day in most places. You see now, very obtuse. Excellent. Yeah, no, those statements were unrelated. Excellent to Matt, not the obtuseness. Came to your mother's friend's place in northern Italy? Oh, nice. How's the weather? I hear in Italy is nice. I have no idea if northern Italy is nice during the winter. Mario's still nice, though. I have not even tried to execute my theoretical solution. I have a cheaty solution I know will work, but I don't want to do it yet. Cold as fuck. Never mind, you don't see. Because bouncing up like that doesn't seem like you get you to where the key is. I think you could stand on the pipes, but at the same time, if the timing's not right, yeah, I'm not certain yet. Like, the way the puzzle looks, assuming that it's not trying to mislead me, wants me to do the obvious thing. Which either means there's something wrong, or it's trying to mislead me. One or the other. Because that brown platform is just weird. And I have no explanation for what it's supposed to do in this stage. like putting together an IKEA bed or something. Like, if you have extra parts left over, that's probably a bad sign. If this was in a puzzle hunt, I'd assume that possibly that was part of some other bit. Like, which of these was unnecessary to complete the level or something? Like, there's a quiz at the end or something. Like, why did... Just, there's some sort of trick, but that's not what's going on here? I can try that cycle... Wait, oh, it cycles. Oh, it's not a one and done one. Okay, that's actually useful information. I thought it was just gone. Like, it spawned and then goes, but I guess that doesn't make sense because of how the BaseROM works. There probably isn't an option for that without standing on it. Okay, that makes things make marginally more sense, because that changes the timing for falling to be more lenient. I'm still not altogether convinced I know what I'm doing. Can I grab the string? The spring. I can, but I don't know where I'd go with it right now. Because last time I tried that, I didn't have time to get anywhere else. Like, by the time I grab it, I don't have time to get over to the right. Like, the only thing I can think of to do if I'm going to grab the spring first is to drop it over on the spikies and bounce off that. But that feels like a bridge too far in what's supposed to be a non-Kaizo contest. Genuinely have no clue what that's for. I think there's a more intended solution to jump up on the spring to avoid falling and then go down and around. Yeah, that's the only solution I see. And the platform is there to ameliorate some timing issues. It might even be a nerf in case you went on the wrong cycle. It gives you some extra time to possibly fall down into a meaningful platform instead of dying. But again, we haven't actually executed, so it's hard to say. Okay, I go around that loop until I can get underneath the spiky, or the corn dilly, whatever. Fuzzy. Because I can run the gamut multiple times. There's no reason not to, and I did learn that lesson with the piranha plant earlier. The piranha plant and block puzzle, so at least there's some preparation for this, I think. But there's no place in that that's safe to stand to observe for any amount of time. No key jump for me. Okay. Like, the timing of that is too suspicious. That's what you need to do. I just have to go a little faster. Like, that's the only solution I see. And I do not care for it. I don't like there's multiple platforms that are all the same color. Seems the intent to just screw with muscle memory when you've developed the whole level. I mean, there's been a few... I guess no, there really hasn't been any spot where I've had to jump on multiple platforms that are the same color in a row. But again, the problem with this is I feel like the hacker has been too clever by a fair measure here, just with how difficult this room is for the final room. Well, I don't need the fuzzy. I can just jump up there. Okay. I've made this marginally easier and hate it marginally less. Not actually like an extreme hate, but I still don't like the solution in terms of how I'm executing it. So we'll see how I feel after I finish it. Because I definitely see a path now that is much more likely that I'm going to be able to execute. Nope. Jumped way too late on that spring. Yay for figuring things out. Well, we'll see if I figured it out, at least. Don't see how to get through the rest of the room. I think that the brown platform's the key, because it gives you a chance to wait for the cycle to line up so you can get on the yellow platforms and go around. But, again, it's all theory until I execute. Because when I land on the spikes on the left, not if the brown platform is in the right location. Basically, this depends upon... Like, you see how that worked? Theoretically, that's how that should work. Like, I almost did the right thing to get the key there. I didn't have a plan after the key, and I definitely didn't execute on my lack of plan. But that was the right way to get the key with just a little bit better of a jump there. Once I have the key, I'm in a better spot because I have a key. It's the end of that sentence. Watch that. Okay. Shoot. So I got the timing on the spring to jump up to the key. What? No! I did? Like this contest is a retry system and also a rule that Kaizo levels be immediately disqualified. I mean, I've only run into one level that was, I believe, assuredly Kaizo. This, I'm still not entirely convinced is, but it's certainly something I'm going to bring up in terms of difficulty. Maybe. I feel like if you're on a platform during the transition, it should shut you upwards rather than outwards. I would feel so much better if I didn't have to wait for this every single time. Though, admittedly, I think if I was a little bit faster with the key thing... Okay, that one actually got me. I'm mildly annoyed. Okay. What is happening? You know, I actually might be getting that key timing that we were just stating that might not exist earlier. Like, I'm getting better at that intro part. Yeah, actually, yeah, that might work. That might be the easier way of it, because I'm doing a shorter jump. One of those, I'm executing just a little bit better every time sort of things. So I might be able to go with the first thing we thought was possible when I wasn't getting it before, instead of trying the much more difficult thing that may not be required. Let's give it a try next time. Because I'm optimizing every time. Nope. I didn't hold A. Like, it's theoretically possible either way. Just need to be prepared in case one does not go well to switch to the other strat. No, how it doesn't work both ways. I either need to be a little bit slower so I actually land on the platform and try to do the really difficult thing, or... when the spring was falling through the yellow pass-through blocks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anymore. Maybe I'm not getting the timing, even with moving slightly faster. Alright, one more idea. That was not helpful. I was kind of thinking it might be possible for me to land on the spring with just holding down B and running off, but no. It's like, I don't think it's quite short enough for that to work, but it was worth a shot anyway, just to rule it out as a thing. Yeah, I gotta go slower now. I either need to be a lot faster or a little bit slower. One or the other, not both. Still so satisfying to land and throw it on the way down. I think the easy way to switch to a lot slower is just to ditch the spin jump, which I was using to try and go as low as possible. Okay. I'm thinking here. That was the best I've done so far. Well, maybe that other one I did when I got up there was the best so far, but either way, that was nice improvement over what's happened recently. Go! That's really annoying too. If when the springboard falls, when the yellow block becomes pass-through, then you jump on it? I'm curious. But I think at this point we can rule out that that was the intended solution, based upon the absurd trickiness of that timing. I think I'm doing the right thing. Let me rephrase this. I think I have the right conception of the right thing to do in the other room. When I say I'm doing the right thing and immediately run into a spike, clearly I'm not doing the right thing here. Oh, balls. Okay. Let me see. I did finish that beverage. Didn't finish this one, though. Okay. Gotta wait for this to line up. I'm just gonna think about pizza. I think what I dislike about it is just some sort of unkindness about these blocks. and how they handle, like, edge cases. I'm not certain what the right solution would be, but it pushes you down is a nice consistent solution, or pushes you out, but I really would love them to push me up sometimes. Maybe something like look at what the block below you is and do something based upon that. I don't know if that's even possible. I'm already dead. I'm not dead. That's true, Alex does have VODs. I don't know if each one has a timestamp, but you could definitely find that in there if there was interest. I have to imagine. See. Need to either wait another loop. Oh, that's going to be hard to get timing right. I got a hold of the key. That's the first time I've touched the dang thing. So either way, that's a PB. Like, this room would be hard even without the fuzzy. Alright, that was a fun way to fail. Nope. Fuzzy makes things harder in tight spaces. It's true. You looked. Do you want me to say what the solution is? I'm actually pretty tempted, but I don't know. What's up, Desi? How you doing? I don't know why that didn't work. That's weird. Looks like that's broken. Oh, never mind, it popped up an empty box. For the raid, I guess. Hello, raiders. Flame raid. Oh, there's the other box. Okay. SA1's just slow sometimes. I got a lot of boxes. Enjoy your empty box. How you doing, Flame? What's up, Neon Blazer? Flames and ice. I'm doing well, Desi. How you doing? How was your stream, Flames? What were you up to? I guess, oh yeah, I have an SO command. I should use that more often. I'll use it even more often when they finally give me a dang API to use it. The box bar. Home of boxes. Many box. Yes, we have boxes. Usually good message boxes, but, you know, sometimes you get what you get with SA1. They're probably using Layer 3 for something, but I couldn't tell you what. Here we go. Box for the box bar. Like skulls for the skull throne. Box for the box bar. Right now I'm just falling through blocks, because that's how this level works. I'm also judging BLDC, the BaseROM level design contest. And this level has decided to put up a bit of a fight compared to some of the other ones this evening, which have mostly been about 10-minute affairs. But I still have time to fight this one on its own terms. Though if I succeed at this and then pick a bad one, I might not complete it this evening. That was the cycle I wanted to go on. Raining now, you're planning on a grocery shop? Oh, unfortunate. Got through the difficult part in P5R, and then the ending stretch. Persona 5 Reloaded? Had to make a guess. I've heard good things about that whole series, but I haven't actually played any of them. I played a little bit of one of the Shin Megami Tensei games, and a very small amount of the, the what was that one called? The Demi Kids or whatever, the Pokemon clone they thought they could do. Okay, there was an awful lot of right things I did there, and then one very wrong thing. Royal, okay. One of your favorite games of all time? Oh, nice. Oh, and crap. Brain. Thank you for resubbing, Desi. I didn't even look. 19 months, damn. Every time I think about that, I'm like, man, I need to get some more catch rooms made. There's too many people who've gotten the Jazz Shroom. I need some new things. Unfortunately, for my cat shroom maker, last time I saw him, he said he would do something, but his wife is still extremely pregnant. She was hoping to have a kid by now, but unfortunately for her, as I was messaged yesterday, it looks like it's going to be more like the 6th. I think that I think the 6th, yeah, I think 6th is Sunday. Basically, by that point, if kid ain't out, they're going in and getting him out via some scientific mechanism. Hold up. I didn't jump. Alright, I'm getting it though. I'm finally getting this level. It's taken a while, but I finally understand what I'm supposed to do and how to do it, and I think I'll get it soon. Kind of surprised since I've watched anime. I mean, not all anime has the same fries. It's a humongous industry. Don't worry about it. Subs are their support, not to push you. Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's just one of those things where I look at that and I'm like, man, there's a list of things I really should get done. One of those I was considering getting done today, actually, and didn't, was finally putting a drop shadow on the Lambda. So all the people in dark mode can see the Lambda. I was about to say next one, but no, that was not the right time for the next one. One of those things where I wish I had more art skills, because I have 0 art skills. As was demonstrated this round, I guess it was the 27th? Yeah, the 27th. We were making candy, which is fun. And I went to go get some parchment paper or wax paper or whatever, and I could not get the dang perforation to work. As I'm reminded all too frequently, if I was sent back to kindergarten a la Billy Madison, I would fail hard. I say I'm going to shut up and do this right now, but no, not enough time. Coloring in lines, not good at that. Sitting on carpet squares quietly, not good at that. Just too many things I'm not good at that kindergartners are supposed to be good at. Yeah, there's a lot of anime out there that isn't Persona. There's a ton of it. I know that Persona has gotten an anime, and some people definitely use anime as like a hobby in terms of watching all of it, but I'm definitely not that way. I just watch some while I'm doing the dishes. I do read manga though, and I don't have any beef with anime games. Hell, I've beaten a non-trivial number of Neptunia games. That should tell you well enough how little of a beef I have with anime in general. Those games are anime all over stuff. Same, 0 art skills. It was a terrible kindergartner right there with you. Can paint Warhammer figures and do graffiti. But you can't draw. Do graffiti, really? Like, you mean you've got, like, good spray can control and can make, like, actually cool signatures and stuff? I don't know. Banksy's so cliche, but I don't know any other graffiti artists off the top of my head. Still, that's kind of impressive if you can actually do it. Unless you're, like, saying graffiti in the sense that you can, you know, draw a penis on things with a pen. Then definitely not. Yeah, first cycle is critical on that. Absolutely critical. You can do later cycles, and they might be slightly easier, but I think the first cycle is probably the most consistent one that I'll have a chance at. Yeah, if you look at my emotes, an awful lot of them are borrowed from earlier revisions of Windows, so... You got a whole Nintendo mural in your garage? Well, shit! Pics? Come on, man! I want to see this. Any chance you can send them over? Like, in Discord or private, I just want to see it. That sounds awesome. One of those things, you never know with some people. Some talents just are not obvious when you just look at someone. For many obvious reasons. For instance, my older brother is actually an adequate organist. Taking lessons and everything. Pipe organist, of course, you know. Simply being able to, you know, play on an electric organ isn't quite the same. But, you know, it's most of the way there. Definitely made me pause. Not quite nerd sniped. Miro, have you seen CX's art? CHX's art? I don't believe so. Of course you love pipe organs, Desi. Pipe organs are cool instruments. Like, the big ones are pneumatically driven. So, like, you're actually basically sending pressurized air through assorted pipes. There's nothing quite like it, though I imagine the calliope is somewhat similar, though in a much smaller form. I have lost my train of thought now that I'm thinking about organ music. Walk off the platform, jump on the second one. Jump to the second one. Like, I've got this, I just have to execute. I know every step I need to make, I just have to do it. Oh, take all the time you need, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, maybe I'm going somewhere, I'm not sure. I do a soft stop on this around like 7:30-ish. But other than that, it's not even close to that. Though after this level, I'm getting up and using the bathroom. I very much dislike having to get up and beating levels. Alright, I will check that out. Open it now. Bonk. There we go. Perfect. Oh, lovely. Nuts. Yep. It's one of those days, ain't it? You know, that was the coolest wall clip I think I'll ever get in this entire game ever. Like, it's just not gonna get any better than that. Originally there were paintings and these are posters of them. Oh, interesting. There will be no flirting in this stream. I usually don't mind that particular character, but... well, I'm doing judging, not so much. Especially if he only directs his affections towards me. It's like, yeah, you do what you need to do. Well, I'm still not convinced that that's a bot. Though I am still kind of amazed that he manages to get through so many things. Because, like, Twitch does have good, like, IP ban detection stuff. It does shadow banning and other weird things. But he keeps registering more accounts and must be finding more IP addresses. I'm certain that the vast majority of... I think I screwed it up already. Yep. The proxies are busted for Twitch now. Because Squiggles was trying it yesterday and found that with his VPN, he couldn't even, like, load Twitch. It wouldn't let him load Twitch at all. It just said, oh yeah, your browser's not supported. Which is a damn lie, because he's using Firefox, but they just don't want him using a proxy. How many accounts is they allowed to make from one email? Well, I mean, the problem is you can have an infinite number of email addresses assigned to one account. Not infinite, large but finite, but still. The way that an awful lot of email places work, you can put in various Actually, it might be infinite. No, there's probably a limit somewhere. Large but finite. For instance, for Gmail, you can put dots anywhere in the first half of the email address, and it will just work. It'll still get to you, but it'll have weird dots. I forgot I need to go first cycle. There's also a way to like include like a hash mark near the end, I think, and it will be a unique address too. I forget. There's a bunch of weird stuff in the email spec that doesn't come up much. Oh, MLS is infamous in SMW Central, in SMW circles. You wait long enough in any given Kaizo stream, he'll eventually show up. It's just his way. You can only find early picks. Oh. No, you can make alt accounts all the same email address, limitless, yeah. Well, the problem is that, like, there's no good way... Email addresses are really bad in terms of understanding what exactly is an email address. The specs and standards were not established well at the beginning of the internet era, and so email addresses are really hard to parse, just for starters. And so they have to be very accepting in what they accept, even though it causes badness. In my DM, okay. I will check that out later. But yeah, Twitch has solved some of these problems by requiring verification, which requires an actual phone number, which is a little bit harder to get. I don't know if they've integrated it such that, like, if I were to pull out my Twilio number and use that for verification, it would work or not. Shouldn't have spun jumped. And it worked out okay. You cannot pause. Or if, like, SIP stuff works. I really don't know. Probably doesn't allow SIP. Almost no one uses SIP in practice. And SIP has the same problem. SIP is, like, infinite number of phone numbers. Oh, that one hurts. Left for 45 minutes. How are you still on the same level? It happens. I think one of my VODs was for a single level was actually about 3 hours once for this contest so far. It's just a very long level. This is room 9 out of 10. And room 10, it took me a long time to figure out what I was supposed to do, and now I'm not quite able to execute it. What is SIP? I don't actually know what SIP stands for, but basically it's a way of getting into the phone system via IP telephony. So effectively what you say is my phone number is this thing that looks vaguely like an email address, and if your phone system is hooked up to a larger PBX thing, it can figure out how to do it. We use it for work a little bit because SIP calling is marginally faster than number calling for some reasons that I don't actually know. I don't really care. I just know that it's marginally faster. And that makes all the difference. That hurts. There was a WLDC level that took you 2 hours before you started using save states. Oof. Session initialization protocol. Go figure. Was that the one that was disqualified? The, like, was it Wario's gift thing? Because I spent a little bit of time on that one and was like, nah, I pieced out pretty quick. Turned on some chat hacks, gave myself infinite cape, because that boss concept felt like it could have been good, but it was not good. At least the way it was implemented. So. Giddy Giddy Joe Tai. Oh, the SMB1 one. Oh. Yeah, I went on for about 45 minutes on that one before saying, no, this is not for me. This type of swimming is making my fingers hurt. And I'm just done. And once I, like, turned on cheats, and I think I only did always cape. I didn't turn on, like, water everywhere or anything. I was like, I'm glad I cheated. This level's, like, 2/3 longer than I thought it was. I'm glad I'm done. If I'd been judging, I would have not been a happy camper about that level. You liked the level? Was that your skill range? Like, it's definitely a class of level that some people really like. But the water physics I just found to be grating on a controller. Maybe it's just me. It took me long enough to figure out what to do, and I think I ended up reading yours or someone else's judging notes, which essentially was, and then if you get a fire flower, the level's really easy. Or at least a lot easier. I'll catch up with chat in a minute since I've just been kind of mind-killed. Oh no! I can do this. I can still do this. I can't still do this. Present plundering DQ level you're talking about is the one you gave up way quicker. Fair enough. Video considering there's one called enable initial counters detection and initial count which counts be used for a verified email address. There's no limit to this. Yeah. I kind of talking about two different systems. One is that Twitch does allow you to have infinite number on a single address. That's true. The other one is that if you have an email address, you also have an infinite number of email addresses. And people often use this for good ends. Like, you can make it so that you can know what account was used for which email address you gave them, which all goes to the same place, of course, was used for a specific retailer and know when they've sold or gotten your data stolen, because you'll get spammed to that specific instance of your email address. But yeah, it's just email addresses are hard, and there's plenty of them. It's not that hard to get them. And, yeah, it's not a good system for keeping people out, sadly. Oh, I'm not dead. Used to enable use that under your domain. Found a bit repetitive with obstacles and a bit trolly. But you were reading ahead of its time. What? Present plundering? Or Lexapro? No, I'm not. I've lost the plot, unfortunately, on that one. No. Oh, using under names. Wildcards are a different thing, Fries. But yeah, that's also another thing you can do, is like, if you own your own domain, you can set up various wildcard rules. So for instance, for my domains, I set up catch-alls for the email that I get, which doesn't happen very often. Surprisingly, if you have an email address at a domain and it doesn't really have anything on it, they don't send you spam. The more you know. Close. Oh, the water level? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I might have continued with it, but it was definitely starting to hurt my fingers. Oh. I don't even know what I was doing there. I'm starting space on this part of the level. Like, I feel this swamp obstacle is just here to waste my time. No! Want to spam me, delete profile, got GDP. Oh, yeah. Convenient European legislation. That's somewhat difficult to follow. I get the feeling they're going to leech a lot of money out of Facebook and Google with it over the years for minor infractions that most people will not care a whit about. But there's some nice stuff in there. I just hope it doesn't end up like the cookie law where the letter is easy to adhere to and just obnoxious. Because the cookie stuff is basically worthless. Like, those cookie notices are so irritating. And like an awful lot of various alerts and messages, people just eventually learn to ignore them because they don't mean anything. In effect. Oh god. Lost my headphone, earbud. I'm not too important right now, since I'm in SMW mode. Okay. Thinking. Have a website where you post random musings on programming. On the website you publicly state you're trans. 90% of the comments you get are transphobic. Oh, that sucks. Just kind of imagining I don't know, some sort of captcha that would prevent that kind of thing, but I doubt there's such a thing exists. But my condolences, that is unfortunate. Kind of feels like internet comments are on the way out to some extent. All of the, very little of it. Very few blogs really have, like, good comment sections now anymore. And some of the, unfortunately, like, really good ones from years past have been purged for various, occasionally stupid reasons. Like, I'm still miffed they, got rid of, you know, the... I could have survived that. Years of useful comments by people who actually knew what they were talking about on Old New Thing because Microsoft changed their blogging platform at some point. There were a lot of useful war stories, and here's why this thing is this way in Windows or whatever other Microsoft product, because that was the place to find those sorts of bits of information. It's also a really good book. I would recommend Raymond Chen's book if you're ever bored and want to read a whole bunch of programming war stories about Windows. One of my favorite short ones is that for Windows 95 they needed to burn some extra disk space. And so there's an encrypted copy of Microsoft Bob on there that you can't actually access. They encrypted it with a gibberish passkey. And so it's long gone. And of course, if you wanted a copy of Microsoft Bob, just go to an appropriate website and acquire a copy of Microsoft Bob. But still amusing nonetheless. They didn't just decide to load up the equivalent of dev random on Windows, which I'm certain has a name that's much longer that I don't know what it is. Anyway. That fuzzy is evil. 10% are either legit interacting with content or people telling you you're really brave for being public on the internet. Yeah. You have to give the key? I cannot jump it into the block. I think I've tried that and it didn't work. So like I cannot actually run into these key blocks with a key and hope it will work. We've established this earlier that it doesn't work for me. It's one of those things I'm curious to see if it is a problem with this firmware, and at some point I will check, but not today. At least not in this level. First cycle, I missed it. What a dumb place to die. Touch fuzzy, get dead, yep. Literally just there to kill you if you're even a little too slow, yeah. That's how the sprite is. Throw the, yeah, and you have to throw the key in. What, seriously? Okay, now I'm really confused. Because, like, I thought the way this worked was that you actually could hold it into it. And I swear someone else was playing on a system where that worked. So now I am actually a little bit baffled. There's at least one part of one level that I did that where it would make more sense if the key was a kickable object, but for the most part I just expected it to kind of work. You see, like, nope, I just stands there derping. That's not gonna work. That worked. Boink. No, I wasn't throwing the key for swag. It's actually mandatory. Mandatory swag. Crap. Okay. Put that back in my ear properly. Flexing because of Kaizo. Oh god. I do not need to flex on these levels. I just need to beat him. Oh, that spike! That spike is causing me much consternation. Just checked, you have to throw the key into the block. Really? Fascinating. I was gonna bring that up to, like, Amper later. But, because I thought that that was some sort of weird inconsistency after I checked somewhere else, but if that's the case... And I swear somebody told me that it worked by just hugging the wall. Level's designed around it in a lot of ways. See, I'm still curious now. Maybe I'm just gonna have to bust out SNES 9X and other things and do a survey. I'm just curious now. Bounce. This is the last room. I kind of figured 10 is the right number. I just have to execute. See? I just have to execute. Like, I have the moves. I just have to put them in sequential order. Aesthetic Dolphin is a good name for a Tumblr blog. We had the Aesthetic Dolphin earlier, who didn't do anything except jump around and distract you from what's going on in the level. I like the Aesthetic Dolphin. Points for the Aesthetic Dolphin. I mean, I guess style points. I guess I'm allowed to give those. Technically speaking, I guess aesthetics are literally style points. It'd be so much nicer if those were one tile down. Well, at least the spike didn't get me. Could be an adjustable setting, maybe. Thought this is how it worked in Invictus? You have the moves, then. Up pipes really do be the final boss. Oh, to make it worse, Daiso came up with a incredibly evil block. I guess object? The RNG up pipe. So not only is it an up pipe, but sometimes when you try to enter it, it doesn't work. It's very evil. Hope Daiso's having fun. I think he's like vacationing somewhere else in Canada. It's kind of like watching like a dog just, or a cat watching fish on a television, just going back and forth, back and forth. The name of the RNG up pipe? Yeah, I don't remember what it is. Keylock? I'll have to check that out later. But I guess you could read it and come to the conclusion of how exactly it works, because you are ASM Magician Max. What's up, Tara? Show me your moves is such a strong emote name. Show... That's fantastic. I didn't even look. Been stuck in this purgatory for a bit. Ah, that spike. Yeah, you sit there wondering. That's kind of the goal of it. It was an evil thing, I think, released for C3. I don't know if Daiso ever used it in any projects of his, but it's very possible. It's very powerful, it's true. Alright. Looking at the code, holding while jumping should work. I've lost the muscle memory for going around without a key. So is that for the up version of the lock, or all versions of the lock that it should work while holding? Because that's not been my experience. Oh, crap. I cannot stop to look at chat when I enter this room. See, usually, when I go through a pipe transition, I can stop and pay attention. I feel like shit because of cramps. Yeah, hope you feel better. Cramps are not fun. Do not care what period they come on. They're not fun. Frequency? Yeah, they're related. Oh. What I get for looking to my left for half a second. I'm getting more consistent, though. Like, nah, I say that immediately. Yeah, no. I just need to shut up and do this. Shut up and jam guide, that kind of thing. Did they ever deliver on the second Kickstarter game for that? What was it, like Jam Barkley's Saga? I'm just kind of curious if that Kickstarter ever finished. I don't think I definitely didn't pay for that one. But I wonder if everybody got their Cyberdwarf body pillow cover. That being the weirdest of the things you could get in that reward set. Apparently, I was ready for something bad to happen. It did. There we go. Apparently, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden was the way to do it. That's all I needed, just to talk about some jamming and slamming. Alright. Yeah. Horizontal block should work if you're holding up. What? That's odd. Alright, thank you for the GGs. Oh, Septic Fireman, how you doing? And finally look at some of these things. Like Fry's mural. Holy cow, he wasn't kidding. He's actually good. That's impressive, even for a work in progress. Alright, I gotta type a bunch of words now. Some of which will be Y2. Which is very different than Poker no Dos. Oh, what number was this? It feels like hours ago. It's getting the exact same message as last time. Getting fat to the first, nice. Alright, what number was this? 09. You can show it off if you want. You don't know how to link. It's pretty straightforward. You just click on the open original, and then you can copy and paste it out, and it usually works because they don't actually ACL anything on here. So yeah, that works. People should be able to see that now. Typically, content delivery network servers don't actually check if you have permission to look at anything. They just assume that the URLs are obscure enough that you won't be able to find them. And they're usually correct. Sometimes they're guessable, but not usually. So, on mobile, fair enough. Mobile makes everything harder in an unpleasant way. Alright, numbers. Too many buttons indeed. Oh, the problem I have with this level is there's parts of it I really liked. But then... So, the